Hello and welcome back to How to Game Differently. Today I have a very special guest with me. I've managed to get an amazing interview with the wonderful, and I've got to butcher this, Romain and Marie, who are both co-founders of Splashteam. And this all came about of doing a video of Tinykin, which I tweeted out, and you guys saw and I presume liked it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We liked it.
Actually, you did very well in explaining what the game is.
Okay.
And it's interesting for us because it proves that we didn't totally fail in making the audience understanding what the game is about.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, straight away for me, it just looks so exciting and fun, which, you know, a lot of games you really try and maybe overanalyze if you're going to enjoy it. But yeah, Tinykin just like instantly, it just looks like a fun game in every sense. But anyway, so I've set 5 questions over to you guys, which I'll go through with you. And so first question is, what actually inspired you guys to create Splashteam? And what has been the challenges of being an indie developer?
So do you want the story from the beginning, or do you want the story from the beginning of this project in particular? I mean, Tinykin.
From the beginning. Let's hear it.
Okay. I think I can talk a bit about the origin of Splashteam, and then I let Marie talk about Tinykin more specifically.
Okay.
Because initially, I've created Splashteam with a friend of mine called Richard, and he's an artist, more concept artist, who lives in France too. So we are friends since video game school. We were in a game design school in France back in 2006, between 6 and 8, and so we decided to make this game, Splasher, and that's why we created this dev team that we called the Splash Team. But initially, it was not a company.
Okay.
Actually, Splashteam is a company only since last year. But when we started the project Splasher, it was in 2013, so almost 8 years ago. And Tinykin is the second project of the Splash Team, and we are doing the game with a different team than the first one, because Richard is not working with us anymore. But in the meantime, Marie joined the team. And so now I can say we lead the studio with Marie together, because initially I was alone and running the team, I mean. But so yeah, on Tinykin, we are 2 directors, Marie and I. And so yeah, why go indie? Initially, I worked at Ubisoft. It's I spent 4 years there after game design school. I worked on projects such as Rabbids Go Home, which is action adventure games with the raving rabbits, was released on the Wii in 2009. Then
I was going to say, I actually remember the trailer when that came out, and I remember all the clips, and it was quite a fun time, like that, the vibe it was giving, because it was like childish humor, and yet it was still quite a lot of fun activities going on at the same time.
Yeah. In that game, you were pushing a shopping cart.
Yeah.
And a rabbit was driving the shopping cart, and another one was inside, trying to gather all the objects around. It was a very fun project to work on, actually. And after I worked on Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends, which are very different games compared to the first one because they are 2D platformers. But it's actually what inspired me to make Splasher, even if I wanted to make 2D platformer before, but it confined, sorry for my English.
That's all right.
Actually, it was the confirmation of my wish to make my own 3D platformer. Sorry, 2D. He wanted to make a game together with Richard since school. So when I left Ubisoft, we started to work on this project because we both wanted to create an indie studio. So yeah, it was the wish to get away from the big projects and the big companies and make something more personal with a very small team in which you can take your own decision and take responsibility for these decisions as well. So yeah, we are very happy to have made this game. Richard decided to not really quit the industry, but he now is more focused on concept art rather than producing actual games.
Okay.
And about Tinykin, the origin of this project is in the Global Game Jam 2019.
Oh, okay.
All started with a very small project in the Global Game Jam, and then maybe Marie, you can take the the next explanation of what happened. What happened after this game jam?
A lot of things. So after that, Romain works with Alexis Logier, the sound designer of Tinykin, and an artist on the project during 1 year. And after that, I came on the project.
Yes,
and we
6 months. 6 months.
6 months.
Okay. 6 months later, you arrived. You arrived and everything changed. We rebooted the project.
Exactly. So we decided to reboot the project and to build another game and a little bit giant, more
something bigger.
Ambitious.
Yeah.
So, something bigger, yes. So with Romain, we have some common points. We grew up with 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Like Crash Bandicoot, Ratchet and Clank, Sonic Adventure, and other.
Yeah.
And we really love some game like Paper Mario or Mario in general, Sunshine, Odyssey, and this kind of game. And we have some more obscure reference like Abe's Odyssey. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
For Romain, and for me, Fur Fighter. It's a little game. Unknown game.
Actually, Fur Fighter is a 3D action platforming game released on the Dreamcast first.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes.
And
right,
it got a PS2 release as well. And
Yes.
it was made by the studio who created Project Gotham Racing and also the shooter Geometry Wars. Actually, they did a lot of things, but a lot of games that they made are not very well known. And,
yes, and I like it.
Yeah. But good childhood memories.
So we decided to build a team. First of all, we decided to build a demo for publisher. So we work with Alexis Logier, the sound designer, and Benoit, the writer of the game, and we made a demo for publisher, released in May
Okay.
Last year.
Yeah, this year, yes. May next year. So we found Tiny Build, and we are really happy to find them.
Yeah, I was going to say that they're quite a getting bigger publisher. You know, like
yes.
like I said in the video I did, you know, like Hello Neighbor is quite a phenomenal game with how like big it got quite quickly, and then like Graveyard Keeper as well has been quite a big hit in the past year as well. So yeah, no, it sounded really cool that you managed to get on board with them as well. So you said that you contacted them, was that?
They contacted us.
Oh, yeah. Wow, okay.
Yeah, actually Tom Brian, the one of the Tiny Build co-founders, came to see us on Twitter.
Yeah.
After seeing prototypes, because we are making videos and GIFs and screenshots of our prototypes, and he said in a message, "Hey, what you are doing looks really great. Would you be interested in public communities?" So we said yes, but at the time we were not ready, because the demo Marie told about was not ready.
Yeah.
So we said to Tom, are you okay to wait for 3 months? And in 3 months, we'll come back with a demo. He said, okay. And 3 months later, we were there with the demo. And actually, we contacted a lot of publishers, but Tiny Build was in my, let's say, top 5 and even maybe top 3 publishers I wanted to work with.
Oh, wow.
And so we were really surprised that they actually came to us before we
went to them. Yeah,
we went to them. So yeah, that was cool. Sorry, Marie, I interrupted just to talk about this message on Twitter.
So we signed with Tiny Build, and after that we decided to build a team. So now we are 10, 11. Sorry.
11. Okay. Don't want to miss anyone out.
Yeah. No. I don't want that.
don't give names.
Well, to be fair, you got most of your team on your website, haven't you?
Yeah.
We have the whole team on the website actually.
That's true.
That's cool. That's great. So so I think we kind of touched on this a little bit at the beginning, but yeah, so the video I did, my first impressions was that it was very inspirational from 2 Nintendo game series, being Pikmin and Paper Mario. Was I right, or was it other big inspirations as well on top of that, all that? Because I know you're saying like a lot of 3D platformers was part of it as well.
I think Pikmin is a bit obvious.
How so?
Why do you think we are inspired by Paper Mario? I want your feeling about that.
So it was the way, I can't remember what the boy's called, but the main character, and it was just all the characters in general, like you have the 2D plane in a slightly 3D world. So you would always see one side, and then when they turned, it was the opposite side, but it's a 2D effect in a 3D world. So that's what kind of inspired me to think, oh, very much Paper Mario style, because I know Paper Mario's kind of gone through different routes over the years, but it's always been the same in the overworld, where it could still Mario could still move around and do platforming and all that type of stuff. So that's like, for me, when I saw it, it was this kind of driven to me that it was inspired that way. Am I right?
You are right.
Hey!
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay.
But yeah, about
we are inspired by Paper Mario with that, but we are also inspired by this game in terms of writing.
Okay.
We have a lot of NPCs in this game, and the writing is inspired by Paper Mario.
Oh, okay, that's really cool.
But
yeah.
On the trailer, you can't see that because there is no NPC or dialogues.
Yes, yeah, and even with like the little clips that you've had so far, it seems a bit more like how you adventure through, and like some of the enemies you come across, and how you use, the little characters you have along with you. Because I recently saw that you had a little clip about how you travel through a tunnel, and you're using using the board, and you're also using the bubble floating mechanic as well, which I think just looks really cool. Like being able to like switch between them and giving different styles of platforming, I think really adds to it as well.
Romain?
Indeed. You're right.
I nailed it on the head.
Actually, the game is all about mixing the use of the tiny creatures that are called the Tinykin, and a moveset that is closer to, the usual 3D action and platforming games that you love.
Yeah.
Such as jumping, gliding, grinding on things with a skateboard, which is always cool. Yeah, in the game it's the soap board, because there is something with soap. Actually, all the technology that Milo, our main character, is carrying on his suit.
Oh wow! Okay,
is made out of soap. I think we won't explain. Sorry.
Bubble and soap.
Yes. Yeah. I think we won't explain everything.
No, yes.
Because
you don't want to spoil
some
everything.
Mystery that will be revealed in the game. But yeah, and the thing is that we are not that close to Pikmin, for instance, because Pikmin is really it's almost a RTS, a strategy game. It's a management game. We are not making a management game at all. It's a 3D action and platforming adventure with these tiny creatures that are here as weapons, kind of weapons that are useful to solve puzzles, but you don't really manage them. So it's not like Pikmin. Most of the time people will say, hey, it's Pikmin, it looks like Pikmin, because of the creatures, but it's not that close. In the end, it's not that close.
Okay, yeah, I think what gives the impression is that you're using, you're throwing the little Tinykins, and obviously using them to solve puzzles. A lot of them are lifting and carrying objects along with you, which obviously is quite Pikmin-ish in a way, isn't it?
Actually, the creature types, what they are able to do, and the way they are useful to solve puzzles is a lot inspired by Pikmin. But the way you play with them and the way you manage them is not the same at all.
Okay, that's really interesting to hear. So my next question is, what software is it that you use to make your games?
We're using Unity.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want more details, but yeah, it's we are using Unity as the engine, and then there is for animation, Marie, who's doing most of the animation, is working with Spine, which is a 2D animation software. I don't know if you already heard about Spine.
No, I haven't.
A really good animation software for people who make 2D things. Actually, it's inspired by 3D. So you are using skeletons with bones to animate 2D characters. And it's a very efficient tool, and it's very easy to integrate in the Unity project. So we are very, very happy with this. And then we are also using other softwares that are more specific to each, I would say, to each job.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
Specialty, I said.
Yeah.
Okay, and they all work quite simultaneously, the two different softwares. Like it's not too difficult to transfer the design and everything into the Unity platform.
No, it's okay because all the softwares we are using, for example, we are also using Blender for 3D modeling.
Oh yes,
and you know, softwares like Photoshop for texturing, and actually these software are providing formats that are 100% handled by Unity. So it's very simple to integrate our assets within the engine. And the cool thing is also that we have a technical artist in the team who also made specific tools just for us to ease the process of importing stuff from Blender, but with specific settings that are made for Tinykin and Tinykin specifically. So so that's cool. Our pipeline is very good, and it's pleasant to work. Then there is a lot of issues. We have a lot of issues with everything because making games is all about fixing, problems, bugs, making things that doesn't work, and so on. But in general, we are very happy with the production, with the team, and with the tools that we are using.
Okay, that's really good to hear. So we kind of touched a little bit about this, but obviously, you were saying earlier that you previously worked with Ubisoft and you did the Rayman Origins and Rayman Legend games, which are just amazing games, I have to say, like probably some of the best platforming games out there, hands down. And the graphics for that is amazing. And I was wondering, like, from making these games, what was like the learning from it, and how much of it did you put into Splasher? Because obviously Splasher is quite a fast-paced platforming game, and it seems a bit more I'm trying to think of the best word for it, but a bit more unforgiving compared to Rayman, where you've got a lot more difficulty and challenges in Splasher.
When you mean unforgiving, you think that Splasher is more, let's say, difficult or hardcore than a Rayman game?
Yeah, exactly. Like you got a lot more like instant things to damage you. A bit like Super Meat Boy in that sense.
Yeah. Actually, I think the two main inspiration to make Splasher were Super Meat Boy and the two Raymans I've worked on.
Okay.
It was the two pillars of the game design and level design. And there were a lot more inspirations, but I think these two were the main ones. And actually, I think I wanted the immediate gameplay of Super Meat Boy, but with something a little bit more, something looking a little bit more like an adventure rather than a casual flash game.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it's not always a good idea to try to get the best out of the two worlds, because this was sometime mentioned as a mistake in the reviews, like trying to have something which is really Meat Boy-ish, but with longer levels. Some people loved it, but some people hated it as well. So most of the time when you make games, it's more, how to say, it's often a best choice to take a direction and stick to this direction 100% instead of take multiple direction and making them, you know, how to say,
kind of overline them in a way.
Yeah. Try to mix them. Actually, mashups are good, but it can be difficult to find the right balance. So I think on Splasher, yeah, the balance isn't perfect, but it's the intention initially to have these two things mixed together. And yeah, on the level design side, obviously I've worked a lot working on the Rayman games, because most of the time I was a level designer. I was a mix between game designer, level designer. I did a lot of prototypes for gameplay ingredients. For example, someone comes to you and say, hey, why not try this feature, but we have nothing. So first you have to, you know, to use the engine to make a prototype and see how it works, how it goes. Hey, we want a bumper. So, okay, what will be the size of this bumper? What parameter we will use to manage the direction, the bounce speed, and so on. So I did a lot of things like that. And so I reused a lot of this stuff on Splasher. I mean, not like copying Rayman ingredients to put them on Splasher, but just about the process of doing the things, like prototype first, gameplay first. Even before there is visuals and animation, it needs to be fun just with the system. And if the system is fun, then we can start to add graphics and sounds, and, you know, we can go further in the production. So yeah, I worked a lot like this on Splasher. And also, you know, level design things like, how do you make a level always synchronized with the player movement?
Okay,
because sometimes platformers are tweaked at the full level scale. But what we did in Rayman, and I did the same in Splasher, is having a lot of triggers all along the way. So until you pass the trigger, actually nothing moves.
Nothing
so
happens.
This way, you are always sure that the player will be synchronized with what happened. And it's one of the best level design system that we have in the Rayman games, and that's why a lot of people loved it, and that's why a lot of people love to speedrun it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome.
So I won't go further because it's already long, but you know, it's that kind of stuff that I learned and I reused on my own game.
and you implemented into Splasher. Oh, that's brilliant. Awesome. So question to both of you now. What is your fondest gaming memory that you have?
Marie, for Fighter.
Yes. but other on game or in general?
Just in general, like your fondest memory. It could be playing a game, or it could be just generally when you been around gaming.
Okay. So when I was young, I used to watch my brother playing a lot of different games. It's not very original, but it's the case. So I follow the story of multiple game through him playing game. And I really love to follow a story of games like Mass Effect,
Oh yeah.
Pokemon Colosseum.
Oh, I love
Lemon
yes.
games.
Yeah.
And Paper Mario.
Yeah.
But I played at Paper Mario after that. So it's my best memory, I think, to just follow the game, but never play. Just look at it and wow, so cool.
It's like it's like the early days of the Let's Plays on YouTube, isn't it?
Yes, I don't like Let's Play, but I like to see my brother playing because I can talk with him about the story. We made some theory of thing like that. And about me playing video game, you are right, Romain. It's about Fear Fighter. I have a very good memories about a level when the character is really little in this in a giant house like Tinykin.
Yeah.
So
there is dinosaurs living in this house. Yes. In the game. There is dinosaurs, like human, but dinosaurs.
Absolutely, and you jump on a cup of tea and just walk on the ground and seeing this huge home. It's really cool to have this feeling. So when we decide to work on Tinykin, Romain really loves the movie. What's the name of this movie? Darling, I Shrunk the Kid. Or...
in English, it's...
Is it Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah.
Yes.
So he really likes this movie. I really like Fear Fighter. So, poof.
An idea was born.
And the question is why this turned into Tinykin. Because I think Marie I've talked a bit about the Game Jam game, but if you want, at the end of the interview, I will send you a link because this game is playable, is on itch.io. You can download it. So you will see where Tinykin is coming from, and I think you won't believe it. But actually...
what I was going to say, what I'll do is I'll leave that in the description box as well, so everyone can give it a go.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, perfect.
And I think you won't believe it because it's very, very, very different. But why being small and why Pikmin? It's because there were already a crowd of minions following you. Yeah. So the Pikmin side comes from this, and being shrunk, as Marie said, is because of stuff we liked where we were kids as well.
Yes.
Oh, that's really great. That's great. And what's been your fondest gaming memory, Romain?
I have so much good memories because actually since I discovered video games when I was 7 or 8, with actually one of the fondest memories for me is the first game that I've played, and it was not the worst. It was Super Mario Brothers 1 on the NES. So, and I think because of this game, I wanted for a very long time to make one day my own platformer.
Yeah,
I think it's because of that. Because actually, I started to play on the NES, and on this machine, I think more than half of all the games were platformers. You know, there were so many platformers. After the success of Mario, a lot of platformers were released on the NES, I think, for example, about the console, I think my favorite is the first PlayStation, because quickly after having discovered video games with Super Mario Brothers 1 on the NES, let's say something 2 years later, I got a PlayStation 1 because when I discovered video games, I was very late on video game history, because when I discovered video games, the Super Nintendo were already released, and the PlayStation was about to get released, because it was something in something like I don't know how to say in English, 1994.
Okay, yeah.
So 1 or 2 years later, I got the PlayStation for Christmas, and my mind totally blew up. Like those 3D games on your TV screen. Because initially, when I was a kid, I was amazed by the fact that you can control what happened on the screen.
Yeah.
Because when you spend all your childhood watching TV, cartoons, movies, or just playing outside with friends, and one day someone say to you, "Hey, you can control what happened on the screen."
Yeah.
And so seeing this in 2D was amazing. But a year later, seeing 3D stuff on the screen, and my 2 first games were on the PlayStation were Crash Bandicoot and Tomb Raider.
Oh yes.
And so it totally it was totally driving my the way and even today, the way I see video games and the way what kind of games I like. Because for a long time, and I think it is still the case today, my favorite types of game were platformers and action adventure games, a bit like Tomb Raider, basically. So it influenced me a lot in what I've liked all the years, all the following years after that. And I have so much more good memories, but I think I won't go into details. But but
that's really cool. Like I like
basically the PlayStation made me.
Yeah,
the first one.
And I like what you touched on with the whole, the kind of mind-blowing moment of when you play a video game for the first time. It's like, hello, I can control this. And we've got another guest with us by the looks of things.
It's Eden.
Eden, my cat. And you want to go outside.
Okay. Well, I won't take you guys much longer.
I love you, but go away.
So 2 last questions. So what are you guys playing at the moment?
Oh, I played Mass Effect because I watched my brother when I was young, and now I play it. And
Yes.
And together we played recently on a game called It Takes Two.
Oh, okay.
It's a really cool game, 3D platformer cooperative. So we play together at It Takes Two. And Romain.
Yeah, just one thing about It Takes Two, because in It Takes Two, you are also shrunk into giant house, and this game is just amazing. We were kind of how to say in English, disgusted. I think it's not the word, but
jealous.
Jealous. Maybe a bit jealous, but this game is so good. Actually, everything is highly polished, and there is so much gameplay. Let's say there is a new gameplay every 10 minutes. It's just amazing. And it's not like something badly executed, like having diversity for the sake of having diversity, but with very bad controls, or I don't know what. No, everything is so perfect in this game. The rhythm is very well done. Everything, the graphics, the gameplay. If you haven't played it, we really recommend it.
Okay.
You can only play co-op, so you have to be with a friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. But yeah, we recommend, and it's a good, let's say, before Tinykin, it's a good way to to dive,
get you into that little war, yeah, get you into that feel,
in the giant universe. And so I think if you loved It Takes Two, maybe you love Tinykin too, but it's not the same. It's not the same. But
okay, yeah.
I'm just saying, if you like being shrunk, and,
if you like to be a little teddy person, you'll love these two games.
But yeah, apart from It Takes Two, alone, I just finished God of War on the PS4.
Oh yeah,
and I really love this game, except the last challenges that are very, very, very hard, and I want to smash my screen with the gamepad, with those damn Valkyries that are very, very hard to beat. But yeah, and I play both AAA games and indie games. It depends. For example, just before I played Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh yeah.
But we played also, indie games such as, do you know a game called There Is No Game?
Oh, name rings a bell, yeah. I've not tried it, but I've heard of it.
Point and click adventure game, which is very, very, I would say, meta. There is a lot of jokes between the game and the player. Yeah. And the game is constantly playing with the fact that the interactions are not what you think, and you always have to think differently that you are used to in most of games in general. So, and it's a very, very good success. Yeah, we really love that one.
Yes.
Yeah, we play a lot of games, indies or AAAs. No preference. A good game can be in both sides.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Games are games.
So, very last question then. For anyone out there who wants to get into, indie development or just generally want to publish a game, what advice would you give them?
Good question.
For people who just start to create game, or for indie. So for people who want to create games in general, I recommend to create games, small ones, long ones. The important things it's to get started, and there is many tools available on internet. To create game, I start with RPG makers.
Oh yes,
software, little software to create game, and it's a really good start. And there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube, and many people ready to help on forum and read it and just start to do it.
Yeah.
The most important is to do something, because there is a lot of people who want to make games, but they don't really know how to start.
Yeah.
And the most something is important is to accept the fact that whenever you start, there is 99% chance that you will fail, but that's fine. Because you need to learn. And the thing is that you can't really learn if you don't do anything. And doing something can be really simple, as Marie said, installing Game Maker, installing Unity, installing Unreal, I don't know, seek for tutorials, if you have a game idea. start to see if you can prototype it. If you don't know how to program, you can ask someone else who can, or you can learn yourself. But just do something. It's very important. And yeah, maybe I would say follow your dreams, but be patient. Especially if you want to go indie. Because if you want to work in a big company, you probably need to go to school. You know, game design school, programming school, art school. It depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
And if you work in a big company, most of the time you are very specialized. But if you are indie with a very, very small team, or even if you're alone, you do a shitload of jobs by yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to be very, one, patient, and two, I would say motivated, but it's not the word, determined.
Yes.
That yeah, and it's important to not give up.
Yes.
And you will probably fail at the beginning. Like you will release, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 games. It has to be very, very small games because they will fail. So if they are too big, they will fail too. But it said instead of taking, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, it will take 5 years. But in the end, it will fail. So it's better to, you know, there is these people saying this, and I think most of the time they are right. It's better to fail fast rather than waiting 10 years to fail.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah, because you want to keep trialing it as much as possible and see what the faults are. It's a bit like what you said earlier, you know, about doing all your bug fixings and all that kind of stuff, and obviously getting used to the different programs and stuff. And yeah, that's brilliant advice. Thank you so much. So yeah, so that has been our fantastic discussion with Romain, butchering your name, Romain. Apologies. And Marie, a much easier name to pronounce.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for joining me and allowing me to interview you guys. This has been amazing for me. And thank you so much for also like sharing my video and everything. It's been so nice. When I saw you guys actually tweet it out and stuff, I was like, what? You know, it was amazing. But yeah, again, thank you so much for coming along for this. It was really nice, really, really lovely. And what I'll be doing is I'll put in the links in the description for the Splashteam's Twitter, their website, and also I'll put a Steam link to Splasher, which you should all definitely check out. It's a really cool game from what I've seen. I will be checking it out myself not too long after this as well. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you look to subscribe to How to Game Differently and click on that notification bell to let YouTube alert you at the brand new episode of How to Game Differently. And that's it. Thank you very much. And we will all speak to you soon. Goodbye.
Bye.